1. People of the world, welcome to What the Funcast, episode 121. Yes, we're back after a brief hiatus here because, traveling and all this other dandy stuff. But anyway, I'm Paul, and joining me is the skull-wearing t-shirt man, Ahmed.
Thank you. That is me. I love a
is
good
that t-shirt?
skeleton. What?
Is t-shirt just like you just found a t-shirt with a skeleton on it? You're like, oh, I want this.
It's from, so there's this guy on TikTok that I follow that makes t-shirts, and I bought one of them one time, and I was like, this is the most comfortable t-shirt I own. So I went back and bought a bunch of the other t-shirts.
So
and they all
dramatic.
they're really nice and comfortable. I don't know. I don't know what material they are.
Hold on. Which TikToker is it? Is it that adventurer man?
Yeah, the one that's like, you want to go to adventure? Too bad, you're coming. He makes nice shirts. I don't know what to tell you.
I knew it. And they're
all like skeleton-based shirts generally. I mean, there's one with like a fox and there's one with like a raccoon, but they're very like my aesthetic. And I'm into them, and they're extremely comfortable. So your
aesthetic, a shirt with a small logo on it?
No, just the skeleton itself. I love a good skeleton. There's one where it's like a skeleton, like a skeleton hand with like the peace sign. I'm like, that's me. I'm always throwing up a peace sign. I love a good skeleton. Listen, they're good shirts. I don't know what to tell you.
I didn't say a word.
Mm-hmm.
Did you? People saw it. I didn't say one word. Not
you said
one.
Some words. You said a few words.
I said no words.
Let the record show that Paul said words.
Nope, I did not. But what I did say is that I'm all caught up on High School Musical series, and it's very good and very juicy, very dramatic. Love teen drama.
I still need to watch it. Maybe that'll be my next thing to do. Because now that Loki's finished.
Yeah, well, so it was funny because we were on vacation when Loki finale came out, and the TVs at the hotel weren't smart. They were dumb. So we literally watched all of Loki on my smartphone screen, which I don't think I've done that in like forever.
I watched the finale on my phone screen in the plane actually. So yeah, I feel you.
Oh, okay.
It was a little bit of a struggle. I'm like, this isn't ideal.
It was low key a struggle. Yes, I agree.
Low key, ha.
Yeah, I was thinking myself out. But yeah, so we didn't do a spoiler cast for Loki or Black Widow, but both were great. So there's our spoiler cast.
Yes, I mean, yeah, I highly enjoyed Black Widow more than I thought I would. Loki, I won't go into the details obviously, but I think of the 3 Marvel shows so far, I don't know. I feel like it's on par with Falcon and the Winter Soldier for me in that it's too short for its own good, and it should have been longer because I feel like there were a lot of really cool like character moments that we just missed out on because it was only 6 episodes. But then over this past weekend, I actually rewatched, binged through the entire WandaVision series because my nieces hadn't watched it yet, and I gotta say, watching it back to back to back to back, all in one sitting, as opposed to watching it week by week, was really good, and I really, really love that show. I think it's the best of the 3 so far.
I would agree 100% with you, and I'm shocked that you think that because I figured that Falcon and the Winter Soldier because it's your aesthetic.
I love the characters, but yeah, I think it was still a rushed show, and it should have been longer. WandaVision is 9 episodes, and I feel like that was good. That was a nice. Especially for a limited series, but Loki, I don't know, this is maybe a minor spoiler. Loki's coming back for season 2, which is the first of any of the shows that are coming back for season 2, because they were both kind of one-offs, the original 2. So it'll be very exciting to see how this ties into the upcoming movies and what they've got in store for season 2. It'll kind of be a sequel to what happens in Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. So I don't know. We'll see. Very exciting stuff though.
So don't forget about Shang-Chi and the Eternals, because those are coming down the pipe as well.
Yes. The only reason I didn't mention them is just because I feel I could be completely wrong, but I feel like the events of Loki directly tie into Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, given the literal titles. But okay.
I think you're completely wrong. I think so. Anyway, without jumping into any spoilers, I think that there's reasons that we haven't seen a trailer for Spider-Man yet, and I think that's tied into either Shang-Chi or Eternals. I'm leaning more towards Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi comes out in November, and September. Spider-Man comes out or September. Oh, September. Okay, Spider-Man is Christmas.
This Christmas, yeah.
I don't know. So I guess we'll see.
We could have some discussions afterwards. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. So,
but yeah,
yeah. So we now that we talked about those, what else have you been up to?
Not much else. I mean, I know we've both been traveling is the reason that we haven't had an episode or been streaming for the past 2 weeks basically. So I was in Dallas, and you were traversing through Nashville, Tennessee. So we're both living our yeehaw life. We both got hats from our respective places.
You can steal all my thunder. I asked about you, not about what you think of my travels.
Listen, all right, my travels included going to Dallas and eating a bunch of brisket and, yeehawing it up. And my boss was wearing cowboy boots and cowboy hat. And he was like, we're like, do you actually wear this every day? And he's like, no, I'm just showing off for you guys. But
I mean,
no
surprise there.
It was a good time. But my thing was a work trip. I think yours is a lot more of a personal trip, so it's a lot more fun, probably. But besides that, I booted up Skyward Sword HD for a brief moment. It works, can confirm, but that's about it. I didn't really get into it. But the Joy-Cons are really nice. It's nice having new Joy-Cons for the first time in 5 years, because I think I bought all my Joy-Cons when the Switch first launched, so it's nice having ones without drift. That haven't been ruined. I rewatched Hell House LLC with my nieces and nephews because I was just there for Eid. I just came back literally earlier today. Also,
happy Eid, by the way. I forgot to tell you that yesterday.
Yes, no, thank you. All good. We ate a shit ton of lamb, which is customary for this Eid. This Eid is a celebration of slaughtering lambs. I don't know. And of course, I played more Hades because that's all I ever do. But I'm very close to actually essentially 100%ing the game, because there's in the game there's the Book of Prophecies, and it's Zagreus will escape with this weapon doing these challenge modes or whatever set or whatever. So I'm going through all of those, and the game's getting really difficult, but it's still after the 150 hours that I've put into it at this point, it's still just as fun, because every time you play it's so different. When you have all the different weapon types or different challenge modes, or where the enemies are 20% faster, they have armor or whatever, and the different weapon types have different power-ups that you get, and I haven't tried them because I would just try using the best ones as opposed to trying all of them. So it feels like a different game. It's still fresh after all this time. I can't get enough of that game, but it's truly
150 hours.
Truly my game of the year. It is so
game of the
fun.
year. It was game of the year last year. It can't be game of the year again.
But for me, it's my game of the year. It's my game of 2021. I've been playing it since January, essentially, nonstop. It's insane how much
I don't tell you. There's better games out there.
Speaking of better games, Overwatch has the summer event as of right now, so we should play some Lucio Ball on stream at some point. Yes, the summer event just started yesterday, so we should get into that. Bless you.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Oh my gosh, excuse me.
But I did add a few games to my want to play list of specifically games that I want to play on stream.
Oh my gosh, the list.
Well, yeah, the list. They're at the top of the list now because I'm I want to just try this on stream. These probably I won't beat them, but at the top is Power Wash Simulator, which I think Logan linked to us.
Sent that to us.
It looks extremely addicting. I'm yes, I would love to wash things. That's my favorite thing. So Power Wash Simulator, and then Death's Door, which is an isometric kind of looking, very similar to Hades in terms of art style, but looks very fancy. We'll talk about that later in the show. That's on the list. And then Stifled, which our friend Brad recommended to us. It's a horror game, which you should absolutely play on stream, but it's it uses your microphone, so you have to speak to echolocate and see what's in front of you, but also you can't speak too loud because you want to give away your presence to the monsters. So looks like a very interesting mechanic.
That would be I would be raising money for a charity playing that game, because I would probably shit myself.
So yeah, we'll try those on stream eventually. But besides that, still playing through Returnal. I've gotten really far in Returnal, actually. On the last time I actually streamed, I got the farthest that I've gotten in that game, and then I died. But the game is still very fun. Just incredibly difficult, but very fun. And Ratchet is also very, very good as well. So.
Oh, yeah, I haven't played any Ratchet, and I should be.
Yes, definitely a good summer game, or a good game to play after I get too frustrated with Returnal. I'm all right, I'm switching to Ratchet. Where I know I can actually at least be good. It's a little more forgiving.
I've been very strongly staying away from Returnal, because I know that's a game that I would play for 1 second and never play again. So
it's not something you could pick up for a little bit. You really have to invest a lot of time into getting good at it, and it's fun. The gameplay is great. It's just very difficult. So
I'm good.
I don't know. It's enjoyable.
I am good.
I'm
good. Yeah. Anything else? That's it? That's all you did?
That's all I did. I mean, I've been like never home. I haven't been home forever. This is like in the past 2 weeks, I've been home maybe like 5 days total. This is the like fifth day that I've been home.
Gosh.
So it's
Welcome
been,
home.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna leave again in 2 days. It's fine, but that's summer. Whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, having a summer this time, which is really nice.
It'll be over before you know it. So
I'm enjoying it while it lasts.
Yeah.
But yeah, what have you been doing? What have you been up to on your merry travels?
We have been also traveling. So last week we were so I guess 2 weekends ago. Yeah, 2 weekends ago. We went to go see Ellie and Taylor, friends of the show. The man Ellie sent me all those ball guys through eBay that one time. That was him, famous for that. So we went to go see them for the weekend, which was nice. It was July 4th weekend. I went blueberry picking, had some really good ice cream, played with their dog, swam in their pool. That was a lot of fun. And
Nice.
then we were home for the week. And then that Friday, we took off and drove to see Logan, actually. So we went and saw Logan, and that was an adventure because we drove out thinking like, oh, well, we'll stop halfway through and get a hotel and just like stay overnight, finish the drive in the morning, because you remember the last time you made this drive with us, it's a long-ass drive.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you, every hotel in Columbus, Ohio was booked solid. So we had to sleep at a rest stop, which was interesting.
That is
I mean, it's
wild
not the
to
end of
me,
the
though.
world.
Like
Like,
every
it was-
single
it was-
hotel?
That's more so the wild part. Like sleeping at the rest stop is fine. Whatever. We used to do that like growing up sometimes. Whatever. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's more so because it's just also very uncomfortable. But that's another story. So more so like why the hell was every hotel booked solid in Ohio? Then what we heard when we talked to some of Lauren's extended family was that apparently they don't have the labor to clean the rooms, so they're capping them. So they have rooms that are available, but they just don't have people to clean them. And I'm like, okay, that sounds more realistic. Like I'd buy that. But
that
anyway,
sounds more realistic, yeah. Because
So we got to
like,
Logan-
who's staying in Columbus, Ohio? What's there to do there?
Literally,
Is there a convention?
well, there was a lot of older cars, and there were some like bigger trailers that looked like they had cars in them. So we thought maybe there was like a car show or something. But anyway, we got to Logan and Jessica on Saturday, and I got to meet Easton in person for the first time, finally, which was a blessed experience. And we're best friends now.
Nice.
And I bought him his first Lego.
Aw.
But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Here goes Tracy. Go Bucks. Anyways, so we hung out with Logan, through Tuesday? And what did we do? We ate a lot of food. We had all sorts of stuff. We went shopping, the usual stuff. Logan convinced me to buy all sorts of stuff as usual.
Like the chair?
Yeah, so between you and him, I finally bought this chair. So it's very comfortable. I built it today. It's been sitting here. We've only been home since Sunday night, late Sunday night. So we've only been home a couple days as well. So I finally got around to building it. And then I got to build Lauren's as well.
It's
so
such an
she
easy
can,
build process, too. Like, I felt like, compared to the other shitty chair that I had before this, it was also like a gamer chair. Like, that one felt like I had to do manual labor. I was, like, screwing in things. This one was like, attach this, and it just, like, clicks in. It's like a magnet. I'm like, this is incredible. This is so nice. Like, why can't everything be this easy?
It is really easy, but I was like watching the video just to make sure I didn't screw anything up, because I was expecting like a big elaborate like push these screws in and hold this in place and then shit's popping out everywhere, and that was not the case. So
yeah, no, it's
that was
very
nice.
feels like an Apple product almost. Like everything's very like clean and branded, and they give you like the fancy screwdriver to do things, and it's like this is nice. I'm in.
And I was telling Ahmed before we start recording, but it's got like a magnetic pillow, so Ahmed's and Logan's are outdated. But they literally just came out with a new one the day that I bought it. And it's got a little magnetic pillow now, which is kind of cool. So
Nice. Next, you gotta get the Secret Lab desk. That's the new thing now. They're making a desk, or they made a desk.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you though. So what else did we do? So then we left Logan, went to Nashville on Tuesday, and we did all sorts of crazy stuff. We went to Broadway and went and saw this like we went to a bar that so Lauren's extended family had been there since Sunday, and they were like, oh, like we went to this bar and they had this really good band. They're gonna be back there again tonight. So we went with them, and at first they were playing like countryish music, and then like right as we walked in, they played like their last country song, and then it was like emo night for them, and it was like all like pop punk. We were losing our minds.
Oh, that's
I was
awesome.
like so sweaty. Oh, it was so much fun. We literally like each bought one drink at the bar because it's so damn expensive, and like we were just having a blast.
Expensive,
it was
really?
A lot of fun. Yeah, like, well, yeah, I don't know. We got like we both got rum and cokes. And it was like a New York drink. Like it was like $11, and the cup was like this big. And
Interesting.
Yeah.
In Dallas, everything was like $2. I was like, "Are you sure? Is this receipt correct? Are you positive?"
Well, yeah, that's Dallas. So
yeah, I mean, no one goes to. There's nothing in Dallas, but I mean, they have good food. They have good brisket.
There's that one popular taco place. Taco place? I have to look it up. We went when we went there, but you missed out. You missed out on tacos.
I mean, I had delicious food regardless. Like, it was just a bunch of barbecue. I was like, anytime I saw brisket on a menu anywhere, I was like, I'm gonna get that one, and it was always good.
Oh my gosh! So what else did we do? We went on a boat. We did all this stuff. But anyway, we also went to Martin's, which is like the barbecue spot in Nashville. And oh my god, when I tell you this brisket was so goddamn good, it was so good. It was like, yeah, it was amazing. Needless to say, it was like I'm trying to think of like how to describe it. It was almost like dry rubbed on the top, so like the little spices were there, but they were like charred spices. I don't know. It was so good.
I don't even.
And I'm not one for ribs, but they had beef ribs, and they were really good. So, anyway, now that I'm salivating, what else? We saw Black Widow when we went to go see Logan in the theater, which was really exciting. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
First time I've been back in the theater since, I guess, whatever.
Oh,
we saw Onward.
first. Oh wow! I realized it was your first time back in the theater.
Yes, it was. It was in fact my first time back in the theater.
And it definitely feels different watching a Marvel movie on a big screen rather than watching the Marvel. Like I remember when WandaVision first came out, you were like, "Oh, it's so exciting to hear like the Marvel like opening theme again." But like it definitely hits different in a theater.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very exciting to see that.
It was really good, really enjoyable, and it was a lot of fun to go to the theater. Like we got popcorns, this whole experience. Like we never buy popcorn, but it was like we're here for the first time in a while. We have to get popcorn.
Yes.
What else? Yeah. Came home. And
slept forever.
Oh my gosh, I'm like still tired, but that's another story. So I think that was it. Oh, so while we were in Kentucky at night in the hotel, I was trying out xCloud, and it worked like surprisingly well. Like when it lagged, it was kind of bad. Not like unplayable, but like you can sense the latency issues. But I ended up playing Maneater and Destroy All Humans with xCloud.
With the touch controls, or did you bring an Xbox controller?
No, I brought the Xbox controller with the little mount on the phone,
nice.
or the mount for the phone.
Yeah,
and it was like it worked surprisingly well on hotel Wi-Fi. And then I was flipping back and forth between LTE and hotel Wi-Fi, and it really worked surprisingly well. Like the load times were quick, obviously, because the Series X, like we talked about before, but it just was very nice. Like I was thoroughly impressed by it.
I think it depends on what game you're playing too, and that's when you'll notice latency issues more so than not. Like if you're playing a shooter like Gears 5, it's really noticeable. But if you're playing like a platformer or a racing game, like it's not too terrible. It's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not that bad. So like Destroy All Humans, by the way, like I'd never played that game on the original Xbox, but this is like a direct remake, and it is raunchy as hell. Like some of the stuff they say in this game, I'm like, oh hello, like is everyone okay?
I think that's what they're like known for, being like really crude humor or like raunchy humor, I guess.
It was very, very crude humor. But it's also kind of a quirky, fun little game. Like it's very much just like a destroy everything kind of game.
Yes.
But yeah,
I should play that. So maybe I'll add that to the list.
So what we did, we played with Lauren's cousin brought over this card game, which you'll experience this weekend, called Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza.
What?
And
you said so many words just now. Wait, what?
It's a mixture of like, what is it? War? I think it's war. I don't know. Whatever. You have a deck of cards in your hand, and like everybody gets like a stack of, I don't know, 20 cards or 15 cards or whatever. And you go and you start from taco, and you like take the card and you put it in the middle and you say taco. If the card is a taco, you have to slap it. So, and then there's like a dog pile of hands in the middle. Whoever's last has to take the card. And then it restarts. And then the person who has the cards, or that had to take the card, puts another card down and says, okay, taco. And if it's a cat, you leave it. And the next person says,
like a very dangerous game. Like people are gonna
Yeah,
draw blood.
Lauren almost broke a couple nails, and then people got hit in the face. It was a disaster, but it was a lot of fun. So we
Yeah.
like instantly bought it. We're like, it's waiting at our home for us.
Oh, perfect.
But yeah, so we'll get to
Nice.
play that next time we're together.
Can't wait.
So it'll be good. So okay, all right, let's jump into the news. Anything else now that we're 20 minutes into the show?
No, I think that that about covers it. We
All
could jump
right,
in.
let's jump into the entertainment news here. This one's interesting. I've heard a lot about this on podcasts and I've read a little bit about it, but I don't know. This is an interesting one. So anyway, this one is like a cross. It's our first ever cross between entertainment and video game news. So Netflix is reportedly going to offer video games within the next year, and this one comes from Engadget. So pretty much what happened is Netflix hired a former Oculus and EA executive to lead the video game development efforts for them. And pretty much what came out of it, I'm not going to go too deep into it because it's a lot of like, well, whatever. But where is this? Okay. So there's talk about this back in May. And here's the statement that a Netflix spokesperson told The Information. I've never heard of them before, but our members value the variety and quality of our content. It's why we've continually expanded our offering from series to documentaries, film, local language originals, and reality TV. Members also enjoy engaging more directly with stories they love through interactive shows like Bandersnatch and You vs. Wild, or games based on Stranger Things, Al Casa de Papel,
Papel, I think.
and To All the Boys. So we're excited to do more with interactive entertainment. And pretty much what they said. Sorry, I'm like chewing gum, and I realize it's probably coming to the microphone as me chonking away.
It's not. You're good. You're good. I mean, it might be for the podcast listeners, but it's not for Twitch because it's
right.
Discord.
So pretty much what came out of it was like they're going to focus on mobile games first, and whatever. So this is interesting, not for me or presumably you, but like maybe an interactive experience for like TV shows that we're watching, maybe. But I don't know.
But there's also at first announcement like Netflix is going to games, I was like, wait, there's going to be like a Game Pass like streaming service like that?
Well, no, the reason why that happened, Ahmed, was because there was like a rumor that like someone found like a DualSense and a picture of a DualSense and a picture of Ghost of Tsushima like in some kind of code for some Netflix something. And then that like sparked rumors of like, oh, is Sony going to partner up with Netflix? Which could be the case, but I don't know.
But there's already like Stranger Things mobile games. Like they've already like given the properties to, interactive media in that sense. So like it's not new, but I guess this is more of like an expansion of that in a sense, because like there are already Stranger Things mobile games and whatnot. So this isn't maybe, I don't know.
That was an example. That was an example of what they were saying they've done in the past.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
So it's very, the news is very loose about what this actually entails, but I guess you can't exactly rule out, opening Netflix and being like, play this game, and maybe you connect your DualSense to your TV or something. I don't know, do TVs have Bluetooth? I guess they kind of do, but enough for input.
Yeah, like why reinvent the wheel though, right? Like, yeah. I don't know.
It's Netflix is so ubiquitous that so many people already have it that it's easier to get people on board with streaming games through a service they already have versus sign up for Game Pass, this new service that you don't already have, kind of thing.
Yeah, I hear you.
So who knows?
I guess like the area of I don't know, like the streaming area. You've got Luna, you've got Stadia, you've got Xbox Cloud Gaming, you've got I guess now Netflix, right? To some extent, we'll see what they come out with, but. I mean, even when you open up like the App Store on Google or Android or Apple, excuse me, like you get hit with like, oh, like want to try Apple Arcade, want to try Google Play Pass or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, I think it's Play Pass. I don't even know what it's called.
Right, and it's so noisy. But like the actual streaming space with Luna, Stadia, Xbox, like it's just very, very filled, and the kitchen is full. So
yeah, I imagine this would be more casual, like a kind of Nintendo Wii approach, where like it'd be like, I don't know, Candy Crush on your TV kind of thing. Like I can't imagine it would be anything.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be
serious.
But like Apple TV did that too, right? Where they like expanded like iOS apps and like did an Apple TV version, whatever. I don't know. It's just like
I don't know how
it just
successful
feels
that
like,
was or not, but
yeah. And, like unless they're doing something like partnering up with PlayStation, I think that'd be a great opportunity. That doesn't exist today, right?
Yes.
But I just don't think that's going to happen. So
yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
The crazier things have happened. Really.
I know. Crazier things have happened. So before we move on to the next article, I forgot to mention I drank a lot of moonshine in Kentucky, and I've got my Old Smoky moonshine hat on now. So pretty soon I'm going to become one of those country boys singing about drinking moonshine on the tractor and big green tractors and the fields and whiskey and wine and all that other stuff. So me and Taylor Swift will be on tour probably next year. So
nice. I can't wait. I can't wait to get tickets for that. Honestly, though, when I went to Texas, I was like, you know what? Country music isn't that bad.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not that bad. And then you come back and you're like, my ears kind of like other things than country. But
that's fair. Yeah. Everyone says they hate country music until Jolene or Country Roads comes on, and then it's like,
I hear Jolene's your favorite.
Okay, Jolene is a good song. Outside of you trying to wake me up at 6 a.m. with it. Anyways,
good time. So Tracy mentioned that Mitzi, her cat, is looking for us because she hears our voices. So that's good.
She's like, who's in my house?
She probably like ran to hide. She's like, where are the men? All right, so let's move right along here. Did you watch Space Jam: A New Legacy?
I did not. Did you?
No, I want to, but then I saw this trash talking, and I was like,
hold up. So what are the original Space Jam?
I'm pretty sure it probably got a bad score.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't great. Let's see. Original Space Jam got a 44% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, really? So this is only 10 points less.
Yeah, it's at a 30-ish. Yeah, 31%. So yeah, obviously Space Jam reviews are in. They're not fantastic. Space Jam: A New Legacy. But the first movie was great. Actually, one of the first pictures of us together is me in a Space Jam shirt. And you petting a goat in the background or something. It was like us at the zoo in kindergarten. And I was wearing a Space Jam shirt. So apparently I was a fan as a kid. I don't really remember the movie, but I remember seeing it at one point. But Slash Film has compiled a few reviews from major outlets, and we'll go through a few of them here. There's 10 of them. We won't go through every one of them. But the general consensus seems to be that it just seems to be a giant marketing tool for all of the properties that Warner Brothers owns, and they're like, look at all these fun properties and how many things we can reference that we own. So Kate Erbland at IndieWire says the film's occasional self-reflexivity early on LeBron cracks that athletes acting that can never go well. Don't absolve Space Jam: A New Legacy for its many sins, and most of them are delivered in service to a profoundly unsettling idea of what makes people like movies. A.A. Dowd from the AV Club said, Space Jam: A New Legacy takes almost nothing but wrong turns, leading to a glittering CGI trash heap of cameos, pat life lessons, and stale internet catchphrases. Its first misstep, keeping Bugs, Daffy, and the rest of the gang on the bench for about as long as it would take the audience to watch 3.5 merry melodies. In at least one respect, A New Legacy is successful. Even those who hated the first Space Jam may find themselves suddenly nostalgic for its comparably quaint charms. And then finally, Bilge Iberia, a Vulture, points out the bad guy's plan is pretty much the movie's plan. Embed LeBron James into a variety of Warner properties. Like most corporate cinematic endeavors, Space Jam: A New Legacy tries to have it both ways, proclaiming to be on the side of the angels while doing the work of the devil. Criticizes shameless money-grubbing attempts to synergize and update beloved classics, all while shamelessly synergizing and updating beloved classics. So it's almost
I hate all these reviews.
It's because it's fun. I don't know. It's very interesting to see that the movie's villain is doing exactly what the movie itself is doing, apparently. So I don't know. Is it worth a watch? Maybe if it appears on a streaming service. It's literally
it is. It's on HBO Max.
Is it on HBO Max? I didn't realize. Oh, I totally forgot. Warner Brothers is under HBO.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was 2 hours long. Never mind. Maybe I can't watch it.
That's a few more minutes than I'd like to spend on a film. But
yeah, it's I don't know. I'll probably watch it eventually. I was excited for it, and I'm sure there's some entertainment to be found in it. But I'm sure, much like every other movie that's come out on HBO Max that I have not watched, like In the Heights and Godzilla vs. King Kong,
I will probably In the Heights.
Yeah, I'll probably forget to watch this one too. So
realistically, yeah, because I don't think it's at the top of anyone's list in terms of movies coming out recently. But definitely go see Black Widow if you haven't seen it yet and you're listening. It's
Yeah,
a
Black Widow
fantastic
is very enjoyable.
movie. Yes, highly. Like, I wouldn't say top 3, but it's up there. Like, I think it's one of the top tier Marvel films. Shocking.
Yeah,
I didn't think
especially
it would be at all, but
especially like the standalone superhero, like not Avengers type movies or not like Civil War type movies where you've got a bunch of superheroes in one
yes,
shot.
yeah. I'm also very excited, and we would keep talking about this, but before we jump into the gaming section, not to spoil too much, but this isn't the last thing the last time we're gonna see Florence Pugh's character. And I really, really enjoyed her. I think she almost basically stole the show. If there's any criticism of the movie, it's that it wasn't a Black Widow movie. It was a Florence Pugh's character movie almost. She was fantastic. She was a really, really great character, and I'm excited to see her future in the MCU. So, very promising. But, yes, very exciting stuff. Shall we jump into...
No problem. Just spoil everything.
That's not a spoiler. It's not the last you're going to see of that character. That's all. She didn't die. I don't know. Maybe that's a mindless spoiler. Sorry.
Med said, hey, I know I didn't spoil it enough, so let me just make it clear.
Relax. It's a good movie. Go watch it. All right. Shall we jump into gaming?
Do you need to watch other movies before watching Black Widow? No, I don't think so. You can probably watch Black Widow without watching any others.
Yeah, you'll... there's obviously like some context kind of things, but it's very much a standalone movie. You'll be fine.
All right. Let's jump into the gaming news. So we've got some new Apple Arcade announcements. We've got Tetris Beat, which is announced. Tetris Beat mixes rhythm with a fusion of Tetris and rhythm game like never before. So there's a little video about it, which is cool because I get Apple Arcade with my storage plan that I pay for, so that's cool.
Nice.
And then Monster Hunter Stories Plus was announced, which I don't know what is new about it because it's already on iOS. But what I've noticed that iOS is doing, or I should say, what I've noticed that... oh, here we go. Hold up. Hold everything. Nope, nothing came up. Oh, here it is. Nope,
good?
never mind. Yeah, I right-clicked and hit Explore after I highlighted it and didn't do what I wanted it to do. What Apple has been doing is it looks like they're taking older games and making like these plus versions. So there's like Cut the Rope Plus, which was like remastered essentially.
Remember Cut the Rope?
Yeah, Fruit Ninja Plus, Temple Run Plus. There's like all these games that we used to play that are getting like these plus variants now. There's Angry Birds Reloaded, which is like Angry Birds Remastered. Excuse me. So they're tapping into all of my heartstrings with my old time games that I've played on mobile. So that's fun. Yeah, so that's that.
Interesting. I'm almost disappointed that Tetris Beat isn't like coming to other platforms, like specifically Switch, because it looks really cool. But also, like, how would you be able to stream it? I don't think you could stream it unless you.
Jesus Christ!
Could you play it on like a MacBook Air? Is that a thing? Can you play Apple Arcade on MacBook?
Sorry, I'm still recovering. I had opened up the YouTube trailer, and I guess I had it on like pretty loud, and it was like a cannon firing. So I hear like literally nothing else. Like, I'm like, okay, I literally just jumped. So for those watching the stream, you probably just saw me jump out of my seat.
I didn't even notice.
Wait, oh, this is pretty cool. Did you watch the trailer for Tetris Beat?
I did. I just did on mute, but yes, I just did. It looks really cool. But I'm like, so is this coming to Switch or? Is there a way that you can play it on stream? Because I know you're like king of Tetris. So
wait, hold on. Featuring music by Alice in Wonderland. Okay, I know that one. Garza.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hannah Diamond. Octa. Cynthia. Oh wait, I missed somebody. Dawd. I don't know who these people are.
I don't know the rest of the names. Alice in Wonderland sounds familiar. I've seen her on a few
Alice
festival
in Wonderland.
things.
Yeah, exactly. People are complaining. Release this on Google Play Pass as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. It should release on what do you call it?
Switch.
On Switch. I freaking love Tetris.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to see. I think there is a way to stream it from.
There's probably a way. Is there not a way to play Apple Arcade games on MacBook?
You can on the you can on the M1 Max, like the new ones that run the Apple chip. You can run iOS apps.
Got it.
Or iPad apps maybe. So I think that there's a way to add my phone as a source on not XSplit. What do you call it? OBS.
Really? How?
I think I've seen people do it before. I don't know if they're
does your
doing
phone
that
have
or
like
using...
video out capability at all? Like physically, does it have video
So it's
out?
funny. It's funny you say that. It does. So wait.
Like, could you plug your phone into a monitor and video out? I don't think you can.
Yes, I can.
Really?
I'll double check that and I'll play it if it comes out or when it comes out.
Okay.
If I can do that.
Yeah, that'd be
I
great.
have a Lightning to HDMI core adapter. I think I'll double check.
But that wasn't that for a MacBook with a Lightning port?
No, 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 no. It was for iPad.
Oh,
It was like one of
Lightning.
those
Oh, I know. Sorry, I'm confusing Lightning with Thunderbolt.
Lightning in to yeah. No, no, no. Thunderbolt's
Gotcha,
USB-C.
gotcha. Yes. But aren't the new iPhones? No, they're not. They're still Lightning.
They're still Lightning.
Yes, but the other end is it's very complicated for no
Med's
reason.
really going to be out here asking Apple questions and challenging me again.
I'm not
Let it be
challenging
known
you. I
I'm
was
the scrub.
trying to make sense of it in my head because it's all so confusing. Nuge, please watch the Marvel movies in order. All right. Up next, Ubisoft continues to kill my dreams and not release Splinter Cell. Tom Clancy's X Defiant has been announced. It is a free-to-play, fast-paced arena shooter that combines intense gunplay with personalized loadouts, specialized factions, and a team of gunfighters called Defiance, or as a team of gunfighters called Defiance, battle for domination. There is a closed test beta starting August 5th. Do you know what platforms this is for? It doesn't. I don't see
I
this in the
believe it's
announcement.
current. I believe it's
Let's
current
see.
gen, but
X Defiant. Let's see. Sorry, I'm getting this directly from the source at Ubisoft.com. PC, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PS5. So I don't know. This looks like it's going to be one of those things that's maybe interesting for a little bit and then kind of flops. That's my prediction, but we'll see what happens.
yeah. So I mean, to Ubisoft, hear me out. Nobody cares.
There's too many of these like free to play multiplayer games, and I think the space is getting way too crowded. Like they saw how popular PUBG and Fortnite was, and everyone's like, "Quick, let's develop a free to play game so we can use microtransactions to make money." And it's just there's too much now. You missed the boat sailed. Like it's over now. Maybe
Right.
that's over, but
It really has. So just when you thought all the boats have left the port, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was announced. And this is, as you would think, essentially like Nickelodeon Super Smash Brothers. So it was announced coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, and Switch all this fall. And what is it, you ask? It's literally like Nickelodeon Super Smash Brothers. And there's all sorts of characters in here. There's some screenshots. It looks awesome. I mean, I don't know. It looks a lot of fun to me.
it does look fun.
They've confirmed there's going to be 20 levels, a single player and a multiplayer mode with local and online for up to 4 players. It's being developed by Ludosity and Fairplay Labs. I'm not sure what they've done before, but
I can
I'll
look
have
it
to
up while
that
you're
up.
talking about it.
Okay, cool. So we don't have a full list of characters yet, but we know that the game will feature the following characters. So Michelangelo and Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the one and only Nigel Thornberry from the Wild Thornberrys, Powdered Toast Man from Ren and Stimpy, SpongeBob SquarePants, Sandy Cheeks, and Patrick Star from SpongeBob SquarePants, Ablina from All Real Monsters, who's the white stick-looking thing with the stripes,
Yes.
Lucy Loud and Lincoln Loud from the Loud House, Helga from Hey Arnold, Reptar from Rugrats, Zim from Invader Zim, and Danny Phantom from Danny Phantom. So I don't know. I thought this looked really cool, and I was actually pretty surprised. There's been a lot of like Super Smash. Well, not a lot. There's been a good amount of Super Smash Brothers clones out there, but this one looks fun because they're harping on a lot of nostalgia, like including Helga instead of Arnold, and including like Reptar instead of Tommy Pickles. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seemed like they.
Imagine Tommy Pickles in the battlefield. He's 1 year old.
That's fine. He got a whole bottle.
He got a screwdriver.
He
But
really
yeah,
does.
these developers haven't done anything notable. This looks like it's their first big IP. Fairplay Labs has done Scribblenauts Showdown. That's like literally the only name that I recognize on this list of their portfolio. And G.I. Joe Operation Blackout. The other one, it's like their second game that they've ever developed. Like there's no other games listed on their website. So we'll see if this is developed well and it's like a good debut, I guess, for these studios. I don't know if maybe they have personnel that came from other studios, but as they exist currently, they haven't done much else besides this. So we'll see if this is if this turns out well or if it flops. I don't know, but I'm a little bit excited for it. It looks fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. We'll see what happens. I mean, my expectations are kind of low because I know that like Nickelodeon games like this usually don't do well, but
Yeah.
it'll still be very interesting because they have the opportunity to take it places. Like they can take it and do DLC characters for it in the same fashion as Super Smash Brothers, and
Oh my
they
God.
could. Will
DLC
they?
of
I don't know.
iCarly. Can you imagine?
DLC
real,
of iCarly, please.
real characters in there.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, I don't know. Hopefully it's good. Fingers crossed.
Yes, fingers crossed indeed.
Speaking of things that look actually pretty exciting, Gundam is getting a 6-on-6 online shooter so it's called Gundam Evolution, but the internet is calling it Gundam Overwatch because if you watch the trailer, it really looks like Overwatch with Gundam characters. So this one comes from Kotaku. Today, Bandai Namco, this was July 15th, so about a week ago, Bandai Namco announced a new Mobile Suit Gundam game. It's called Gundam Evolution, but honestly, Gundam Overwatch would have been better. Of course, Bandai Namco can't name it that, as Overwatch is owned by Blizzard, blah, blah, blah. But the game is a first-person 6-on-6 shooter, so very similar to Overwatch in that extent. But it's not necessarily a bad thing that it looks like Overwatch. It could be good. But it'll be free to play and is bound for PC. And there are plans to launch it in different regions around the world before the service kicks off. A closed beta test will begin next month. I don't know. I don't know if you watched the trailer, but this could be fairly big. It might also be kind of like go the way of Valorant, where everyone was super excited for it when it launched, and now you rarely hear about it anymore. But I don't know. Looks exciting. Who knows?
I believe it's only in Japan right now.
The beta is only open in Japan right now. Yes. I don't know if it was ever announced for the U.S. Now that you mention it, but I would imagine that it would come to the U.S. in the future, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, hopefully.
The trailer is in Japanese. Now that you mention it, so yeah, I don't know. It still looks exciting.
It is. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. Well, I know Gundam is a lot more popular outside of the United States, so there's a good chance that it may never leave Japan, but we shall see.
We shall.
So, for those of you that have been watching this whole time for the entire, I don't know, almost hour at this point, you may notice what looks like a Switch behind us, and that is not, in fact, the Switch. Some people are calling it the Switch Pro. Some people are calling it the Gabe Gear after the Game Gear and Gabe Newell.
Oh, Gabe Gear. So who's Gabe?
But yeah, so that is the Steam Deck. So we've got a whole blowout of Steam Deck information here, which is essentially Valve's handheld that they're going to be bringing to the market. So,
yes, it's essentially
a run
portable
through this.
PC.
Do you want to run through it?
We can split it, alternate.
Okay,
I don't know, whatever you want.
How about I'll do the rundown, then you want to go through the Q&A or some of the other stuff here?
Sure, sounds good.
Okay. All right, so IGN got the IGN first on this, so they've got a lot of information. So they pretty much did a deep dive on it. So in terms of the actual hardware, the Steam Deck has a 7-inch 1280 by 800 resolution, 60 hertz LCD screen, a custom AMD APU featuring a 4-core 8-thread CPU paired with 8 RDNA, 2 compute units for the GPU, and 16 gigabytes of RAM. Practically speaking, it makes it a substantial amount stronger than the Switch, allowing it to run more modern games pretty well. As a point of reference, IGN was able to play Jedi Fallen Order on an in-development Steam Deck at high graphical resolution with little to no issue. It can even suspend running games like a console, and Valve says the intent is really to give players access to their entire Steam library on the go. So to better enable that, the controller setup is on either side of the screen, has all the buttons, triggers, and full-size joysticks you'd expect from a modern gamepad and more. The sticks are actually capacitive, meaning that they can detect when your thumb is resting on them, and below each one is a small trackpad that can be used for mouse inputs. There are also 4 back buttons on the rear of the Steam Deck that can be mapped however you see fit, and the display is a multi-point touchscreen. And the Steam, I'm going to start paraphrasing here. The Steam Deck has Bluetooth support, so you can connect AirPods just like a regular PC, and it can be docked to an external display as well as a mouse and keyboard if you want to use it like a traditional PC. Valve is going to be selling an official dock, but any third-party USB-C adapter should work just as well. Okay, so the Steam Deck, the base version is $399 for 64 gigabytes of
like solid state storage, essentially.
Yeah,
eMMC, whatever.
I almost said eMMC, and I'm like, no, that's not right. eMMC storage, and then $529 for a 256 gigabyte NVMe SSD version, and then a $649 version that has 512 gigabytes and an anti-glare etched glass screen treatment.
Ooh.
The latter two Steam Decks also have faster NVMe SSDs, like I said, and all three will allow you to install and play games off of micro SD to expand your storage capacity further. They don't have a hard release date, but it's currently set for holiday 2021. Ahmed and I were just talking about this before we started podcast, or before we went live. But if you go to pre-order any of them now, they're all Q2 2022. So Gabe Newell told IGN that hitting these price points was painful but critical, and a reservation pre-order system will be rolling out in the near future, with Valve aiming to avoid the chaos and unpredictability of recent console launches. All three price points will come with a tailor-made carrying case.
Interesting. So, what do you think? Is this something that you would actually invest in, or is it something that you
No. It's like, it seems really neat, and I think it's a great idea, but I just don't have enough PC games to justify it. Like, and I don't, like, if I'm going to play a PC game on, like, I guess where I'm at, like, I've got my Xbox and PlayStation, I'll play games that I don't want to play on Switch there. PC for, like, PC-only games, maybe, or, like, Game Pass games that I want to play on PC, but my library is not there. And it's funny because what crossed my mind as well is, like, everybody got all those free games from Epic Game Store, and, you know, people have bought games on Epic Game Store because they've been cheaper or whatever, and then now where are we? Like, people have split libraries where you can't play. Well, let me take that back. I think you may be able to play games from Epic Game Store on this thing because it's literally a portable PC.
Yeah, so there's the thing. Like, out of the box, it's going to just be a Steam PC, but it's basically running Windows. So you can hypothetically, like, tab out of Steam and download wherever you want. It's literally a portable PC that runs on battery, and it's a laptop essentially, but just instead of having a full keyboard, it's a handheld laptop. So yeah, hypothetically, you could play whatever you wanted on it. And I currently have 133 games on Steam. So maybe I should have pre-ordered this when I had the chance, because it launched and I was like, this is even real? Because it almost looks like a prototype device. Like, I mean, I'll hide our chat here for a second, our chat box, so you can see it a little more clearly. It looks a little ugly, if we're being honest. Like, I thought it was a prototype, like this was a leak when it was first announced. I didn't realize it was a real, like, final design. I think it looks a little ugly, so I just wasn't excited about it in that sense. But I don't know. Maybe I should invest in this, because one of my big things whenever I'm traveling is, like, I sometimes will leave my PC on and, like, stream my PC from my phone and play games that way and, like, connect to my Xbox controller. And obviously it never works that well because there's latency issues and whatnot. So if this is not a streaming device, this is literally you're playing the games off of the actual system. So I don't know. There's an appeal there for me, but at that price point,
let me ask you this though. Like, what's different from, like, bringing your laptop and playing games on your laptop? I'd imagine the
laptop
graphics
can't run any of these games. Not any of the games that I want to play. My laptop can run, like, Roller Coaster Tycoon, but it can't run.
Your laptop can't run, like, Jedi Fallen Order?
Absolutely not.
Interesting.
I don't have a discrete graphics card on my laptop. But, like, I could buy a gaming laptop, but that's, like, you know, thousands of dollars. Like, a gaming laptop that can actually run games well is at least $1,500, if not more. So this is a much more affordable option. It's like the nice, convenient Switch form factor.
Right. No, I agree with you. And it is nice. I mean, could you imagine, like, hooking up to the dock and, like, connecting a mouse and keyboard and, like, I don't know, writing a paper if you were, like, in college, I guess.
I mean,
like,
you could. If you really
it's like when you use the PSP as a music player growing up.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, but one of the things that comes to mind here, like, right when I saw it too, it looks like a prototype because those buttons. It almost looks like hideous. The sides of your hands are going to hit the buttons.
Yeah, like every button is a shoulder button. It's very strangely played out, and I wonder how comfortable it'll be in reality.
Right. I feel like it can't be that comfortable, but I feel like this product is something that you should, like, or anyone, and it's just my opinion, should almost wait for, like, a Gen 2 version of it, because think about how quickly we run through, like, PC VR headsets, right? I mean, like, before you know it, there's a new version out. And just like with any technology, right? I feel like this is something where when they turn this into almost like a Switch Lite or, like, you know, a Switch Pro, so to speak, or whatever the second gen version ends up being called, but I guess the Steam Deck 2, I feel like it's going to be very refined, where this is as clunky in some regards as, like, the original. And I keep looking over to the left because when I opened up Steam, it has, like, the whole, like, it's spinning around, and I keep getting different views of it. But I feel like with the original Switch, like there's a massive bezel. There's a massive bezel on this one. I just feel like the right move is just to wait. But at the same time, it's super exciting, right? And like maybe they don't refresh it for years. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different between this and like game consoles, because game consoles, there's almost like a set lifespan on game consoles. Whereas with PC and PC technology in general, it changes so fast. That's why it's updated so fast. That's why our phones are updated. Well, that's why there's a new iPhone or new Android phone or multiple of each every single year.
Yeah. It should also be noted that Steam branded hardware, I feel like gets thrown to the wayside a lot quicker than you'd imagine. For example, the Steam controller, the Steam Pad or whatever. It was like a really unique controller idea. It had like, instead of joysticks, it was like these kind of touch pads that you'd like rub around or whatever, because they could double as mouse pads, similar to what's on this. And that like kind of went by the wayside. No one really bought it. The Steam, what's it called? The little Steam streaming thing, Steam Link. That was like being fire sold at like $5 a piece because they couldn't get rid of them fast enough because they didn't want them anymore, and they just kind of abandoned them. So I think the move is to wait, because you don't know if this is going to be actually supported and really successful, and like they'll release a Gen 2 version, or if it'll just kind of just be a one-time off deal and they're like, this actually sucks and it didn't sell that well and we're never going to do it again, and it gets abandoned and it's never supported. Additionally, my main concern is graphics capabilities. Jedi Fallen Order is a 2018 game, right? And I don't know, you can't expect too much from a portable PC, but I feel like games are advancing at a particularly high rate, especially with like ray tracing capabilities and all that fun stuff. And this is running an AMD processor, so it doesn't have DLSS to take advantage of that kind of machine learning where it ups your frame rate at, minimal loss of visual quality. So, how do games that come out next year look on this? Can it run Cyberpunk, for example, given, assuming Cyberpunk is a well-made game, but can it run like a new AAA title that's going to come out next year, or is it immediately going to kind of die out? Because PC games aren't made with, low-powered consoles in mind. They're made with, like, you have, $1,000 to spend on a graphics card in mind. Otherwise, you're going to play on a console. So that's my concern, and that's why I was kind of hesitant and not, like, super excited to pre-order right away. As opposed to a console, like, all the games are made to run on that console guaranteed. This is, your mileage may vary depending on what game you're trying to play.
And what's interesting is, like, so a couple things here. So, like, Logan went through and he was talking about, like, what it is, like, what the graphical power of it is. And it's, like, 1.6 teraflops, which the Switch is about 1 teraflop. The standard Xbox One is about 1.3 teraflops. The Series X is about 12 teraflops. Just to give you some perspective there in terms of just raw power of what it can do. Yeah,
so it's basically a portable last-gen console, very much in line with the Switch, essentially, is what it seems.
Right, which is funny because people rag on the Switch all the time for, like, how are you going to get, like, these next-gen games on the Switch? And the fact is you're not going to unless you do, like, a cloud variant of it.
Yeah, because, a lot of the Switch's power issues, like, I'm sure they could stuff a laptop graphics card in there if they really wanted to. Like, there's space, but you have to consider the heat. How is that going to be comfortable to hold in your hands when you're playing for a long time? Like, is it going to be hot to the touch? Because gaming laptops get super hot. So there's all these considerations.
Fans all over this thing. There's fans on the back. There's fans on the top.
Yeah, I'm sure it runs pretty loud. The Switch can get a little bit loud, but I feel like in handheld mode it, like, throttles itself, so it doesn't, like, hurt to hold. But what's in the dock, it can definitely get a little loud, the Switch. So...
No, it definitely can.
Very interesting stuff. So IGN compiled a little FAQ here. A lot of this was already kind of covered, like the basics, but they did cover a few other things, kind of, quick burning questions. So the deck itself is included in the box. It'll also come with a power adapter and carrying case. The dock is not included, as it would be with a Switch. It has built-in microphones for multiplayer chat. There's no cellular connection. It is a Wi-Fi only device. There's an ambient light sensor that'll adjust the brightness automatically depending on lighting conditions, which is cool. So, sorry, I mentioned before that it runs Windows. It doesn't actually run Windows. It runs
Steam OS.
Steam OS. But I have to assume that is running on, like, it's Steam OS, but it's on Windows, kind of like Chrome OS is essentially Android. Because in the IGN FAQ here, they say, is it for gaming only, or can it run other PC applications? And it says it can pretty much run anything that you can run on a PC. So you can, it has a web browser and everything. It's not, just Steam. So yes, they'll be producing a dock. It'll be sold separately. No pricing on the dock yet, and they're not even sure if it's actually going to launch with the dock. But any USB dock that you have off the shelf will work with it to export or to be able to connect to HDMI, Ethernet, USB, etc., etc. You can technically play VR off it. Has the connectivity, but it's not really optimized performance-wise for that. So your mileage may vary in that respect.
It's like such a stupid question in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's obviously not powerful enough for that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe for something as simple as like keep talking or whatever, the bomb game. Like, I don't know, something as simple as that maybe. But yeah, all the normal options that you get in PCs are accessible. That being said, most games start with a pretty balanced graphics settings that work well right out of the box. Which is also another thing to consider. Like on a console, you never have to worry about going to the graphics settings besides like maybe switching between performance mode and, fidelity mode or something like that. But on this, you'd probably have to go into like each game and make sure you're getting, at least 60 FPS or whatever. But yeah, it'll have like full mod support just as you would have on PC. So yeah, it's essentially like all these questions are like, does it have this? And it's like, yes, because it's basically a PC. It'll do everything that you would expect it to do. But yeah, so very interesting stuff. I don't know. I'm still not sold on it, but it's exciting to see, and I hope that it is actually successful. Because it'll be cool to have like a market of this, and maybe more hardware developers like, I don't know, Asus, Acer, Lenovo, HP even could come out with like competitors. HTC maybe even.
That's where things get dicey though, right? Is because that's when it becomes too crowded in the kitchen. That's when it becomes one of those things where there's just too many products out there. Like I don't know. Yeah. And obviously monopolies aren't good. We've talked about that, but like,
yes,
I like the way it's just the Switch. Like the Switch is that is the hybrid console. Like that is it. Like there's no PS Vita anymore. It's like if I want to get a PlayStation 5, I'm gonna get a PS5. It's just very different. It's like you have 3 solid choices depending on what you want.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice that it's coming from I guess Steam isn't necessarily the publisher of these games, but it's coming from the Steam store, so it's like,
right,
as opposed to just being a third party, like just Windows machine. There's a little more support around you boot it up and you're going to get your Steam library, and it's like they've tailored the experience in that sense, as opposed to it boots up to a Windows desktop and you have to like open a separate app, and that can get clunky and
right,
even clunkier than this might be.
Agreed.
So I suppose
Agreed.
We will see, but I definitely wouldn't call this a Switch killer in any sense of the word, just because Nintendo handhelds are always in a league of their own. No portable that's been released by any manufacturer has been able to compete, and it's not because of hardware, it's because of software. And that's just
it's funny because PC Gamer has a article that says where I just saw it. It's like Steam Deck. Where is it? Steam Deck is Switch without the magic, which I think that sums it up perfectly. Like where, like the Switch, it was like, hey, here's this handheld. Oh wait, pull off the Joy-Cons, you set up the kickstand, and you can play it right, like on the table, whatever. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it's successful. Hopefully it's good. But we'll see.
We shall. All right. Shall we jump into the minuscule PlayStation news?
This would be like this would be a quick.
Did you actually watch this? I like skimmed through it, so I guess maybe.
No, I saw the announcements come on. Yeah, I saw the announcements come on Twitter, and then that's about it.
Yes. So this was essentially how Nintendo. Sometimes the Nintendo Directs are just like Nindy kind of things, and I talk about little indie games. This was essentially that. It was a lot of like smaller kind of indie games, and then. The big thing was that we got 9 minutes of gameplay with Deathloop, which I also kind of skimmed through, and it looks interesting. That game's been on my list regardless, so excited for that. I guess it's kind of the last Bethesda game that we'll see is exclusive for a Sony console. But it does look very good. But then we got Moss Book 2 footage. We got Arcadegeddon, which is early access begins today on PS5 for Ilphonic's kaleidoscopically chaotic loot-based shooter. Moss Book 2 is obviously the PSVR game, or sequel to the PSVR game. Tribes of Midgard action RPG launches July 27th, so at the end, or in a week. Teams items into post-launch plans, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Looked very much like Valheim in a sense, and I was like, cool, not for us. Fist, Forge, and Shadow Torch. This looks like what's that game? Conker's Bad Fur Day or whatever. Was it Conker? Was that the name?
Wait,
on Xbox. It doesn't look. It's just a furry animal with like a Gundam suit on. Very like aggressive looking.
Conker.
Yeah. This comes to PS4 and PS5 on September 7th. Hunter's Arena Legends is a 30-player melee game. New combat system. And, I don't know. Looks very. I don't know. These all look like very strange games. I'd suggest just scrolling through this. Jet the Far Shore is the one game that was announced previously during like the big PS5 reveal that's been on my list. And they talked a little bit more about this. Thoughtful exploration, the inquisitive atmosphere make this adventure stand out. It's kind of a laid-back approach, or a laid-back game, I guess. Demon Slayer, Lost Judgment, Death Stranding, Director's Cut, were all mentioned here. But yeah, the big thing is definitely the Deathloop gameplay.
I'd say Moss Book 2 is pretty important too, because that's.
Did you ever play the original?
No, I got it through. So I initially, I bought it on sale, and then they announced that it was going to be free for like days to play or whatever. And I wrote into Sony, and they like it's part of the refund policy. As long as you don't boot up the game, they'll refund you. And Sony refunded me, which was nice. But
nice.
No, so I got it for free, but no, I haven't played it yet.
I want to say I own it, but I don't think I've played it yet either, because it's a VR only game, and I don't know. VR only games have a big barrier for entry for me, because I'm like, do I want to get sick tonight or risk getting sick tonight?
It's supposed to be a very good game. Like, it was pretty highly regarded by many outlets.
I have heard very good things. Yeah. But we shall see.
But yeah, so that's kind of old news. Jumping into some brand new news, Death's Door just came out yesterday, and it is doing very well. There's a lot of positive talk about it. Death's Door, I had no idea what the hell this game was, but it has a Metacritic of an 86. Ahmed talked about it a little bit earlier. It is console exclusive to Xbox, and is also available on PC. It is not on Xbox Game Pass. So that's one thing to note there. Yeah, so the summary of it is reaping souls of the dead and punching a clock might get monotonous, but it's honest work for a crow. The job gets lively when your assigned soul is stolen, and you must track down a desperate thief to a realm untouched by death, where creatures grow far past their expiry and overflow with greed and power. Talon-sharp combat. Utilize melee weapons, arrows, and magic to overcome a fantastic array of beasts and demigods. Mistakes are punished and victories rewarded. Gain an edge by customizing your character's stats and mastering the abilities and upgrades you obtain. A beautifully bleak world. Venture beyond the doors and explore a land full of twisted inhabitants and countless secrets. Bringing hope to the weird and wonderful characters you'll meet along the way. And a dark mystery to unravel, track down and defeat colossal tyrants with stories and motivations of their own. Experience a somber yet darkly comedic tale, uncovering the truth behind the flow of souls, the role of the crows, and the origin of the doors. I listened to a podcast earlier that had this compared to if A Link to the Past was made in this day and age, this would be it. Which I was like, anyway, when I buy this immediately.
That's high praise. That's really high praise.
So I pulled a couple things here from IGN and GameSpot. Oh, I gotta put GameStop anyways. GameSpot. IGN said their verdict was a 9 out of 10. Death's Door is a must for those looking to scratch the itch of a classic Zelda dungeon delving game, with the added bonus of impeccable combat against waves of foes in a creepy world. Secrets are plentiful enough to offset the low variety of rewards, and the cohesion of puzzle solving and combat encounters work terrifically to challenge me in all the right ways. While I wish the adventure didn't end so soon, as a Reaper of Souls I should know, nothing lasts forever. Apparently this is like a 6-hour game, which bodes well for me because I can't finish anything. So, but yeah. And then GameSpot gave it an 8 out of 10, said the good, intriguing premise that is beautifully represented by a striking art style and creative character designs, fast and challenging combat that rewards dexterous dodges and smart attacks in equal measure. Each new ability adds a new layer to combat and exploration, each of which are fun to experiment with. Hubs fold into themselves in smart ways and consistently reward keen investigation with additional challenges and permanent upgrades. The bad permanent upgrades are so far off the main path that it's easy to miss them all entirely, and the omission of an in-game map makes some exploration more frustrating than necessary.
Interesting. It also should be noted that for a 6-hour game, it is actually only $19.99. So don't worry, it's not a 6-hour, $60 game, which is good.
Well, right, which is more usually more likely the usual nowadays than anything else.
Yeah. So yeah, this is definitely something that I will probably buy and try on stream, because it looks like it would be directly up my alley and probably your alley as well. I don't know if you want to stream it or we both stream it.
Yeah, so I'm debating whether I wait to see if it shows up on Switch or not. But
I feel like that won't happen for a while. I don't know.
You say that, but Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori the Will of the Wisp showed up.
Yeah, but not for a while. It took
We'll
at
see.
least like a few years.
I gotta beat Ratchet and Clank first.
Yes, that is top priority. Maybe I'll play that game tonight. Not on stream though. I'm tired. I'm too tired to be.
I was gonna say
I
it's funny you say that because I'm tired.
But anyways, last but not least, some, I guess, vaguely somewhat disappointing news from Nintendo. There's supposedly no Switch Pro at all. The OLED model is the closest we'll get to a Switch Pro. This one comes directly from Nintendo. Let's see, Nintendo's official Nintendo Co. Limited. I guess this isn't Nintendo's Japanese account. Is it?
It's like their yeah, it is.
It's like the press account kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, so there was a tweet that came out or a tweet or a report or something that was like, "Hey, Nintendo's actually making like 50 or charging an extra $50, but it only costs them $10 to like produce the Switch Pro over the Switch OLED versus the regular Switch." And then like that's why they made this comment.
Yeah. So the comment being, they tweeted and said, a news report on July 15th claimed that the profit margin of the Nintendo Switch OLED model would increase compared to the Nintendo Switch. To ensure correct understanding among our investors and our customers, we want to make it clear that the claim is incorrect. We also want to clarify that we just announced the Switch OLED launching in October 2021 and have no plans for launching any other model at this time. I mean, that's not a hard, like, no, we're not ever doing a Switch Pro, but it certainly quells any rumors that there would be an upgraded model or anything coming holiday season, which obviously I don't think anyone expected that after Switch OLED model was announced, because they wouldn't announce new hardware and then announce another new hardware again on top of that also coming this year. So I mean, there's still maybe hope that a Switch Pro model will eventually happen, because I can't imagine that they would just issue all of the success that the Switch has had and just come up with a brand new console. I feel like they would just iterate on this existing form factor and have a Switch U or Switch Wii U, whatever the hell it's called. But I don't know. The future is uncertain, as it always is.
You know what's crazy though? So like this is, I mean, like I could see the Switch Pro eventually coming out, or maybe like a Switch 2 coming out. I don't know, but either way, right? Like the Switch came out in March 2017. Like that was 4 years ago, right? And to
was it
think
2017 or was it 2016?
I'm looking at it right now. I looked it up. March 3rd, 2017.
Got it.
So, and then like they came out with the Switch Lite, and the Switch Lite came out September 20th, 2019. So like roughly 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then now you have the OLED coming out in October. So that'll be 2 full years after the Switch Lite. So it's just kind of crazy. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. But it's one of those things where I don't know. Nintendo's going to Nintendo. They're going to do their own thing. They're going to do whatever.
And I mean, if it works, and it seems to be working. Like, I'm sure profits aren't down. The Switch has, even through the pandemic, been impossible to find.
Right.
So it's clearly I don't think that there's any internal rush to be like, we have to get better because we're failing. Like, they're clearly not failing. They're doing great.
Right.
So there's probably no feeling to be like, no, we have to, get our third-party games because they're doing just fine without them.
Right. They absolutely are. So which is crazy. I mean, it's wild, but I guess if it works.
Yeah, and that's exactly why the Steam Deck is not a Switch killer of any, or even I wouldn't even say it's a competitor. It's kind of operating in an entirely different playing field. It's a portable PC. It's not its own console.
Yep.
So.
One last thing that I did not put on here: Pokemon Unite came out today, which is the Pokemon MOBA that was announced like forever ago. So it's free to play.
Oh, okay.
For Switch. Yeah, it's free to play on Switch, and it is available now.
I have to say, I don't think I've ever heard about this. Like, I don't know when this was announced.
Well, it's funny. I'm watching a trailer now because I forgot like what it is about.
It almost looks. I mean, as someone who's never played League of Legends, it looks like League of Legends to me.
Yeah, I just don't understand why
But I mean-
people are dunking balls into rings like that. That part doesn't.
I don't know, but I mean, League of Legends is a MOBA, so there's only so many ways that MOBAs can look.
Yeah.
But sure, I mean, yeah, it's free to play. Why not? Go get it. Oh, well, free to play, assuming you have Nintendo Switch Online, right?
Oh.
Probably.
Maybe.
I mean, if it's an online game, then I'm assuming you have to have Nintendo Switch Online to play it. Similar to like Tetris 99 or that Kirby game. Wasn't there like a Kirby online game that came out at some point? Am I making that up?
Kirby something Smash.
Yeah, something silly like that.
Yeah, I never played that either.
There's a video on Nintendo Life's YouTube when I googled Pokemon Unite, and it's like Pokemon Unite exists, and I'm like, good. Glad that I'm not the only one that like forgot that this.
Yeah,
was
I totally
happening.
forgot about it and did not realize it was coming out today. Apparently, it's coming out on mobile as well.
Interesting stuff. Yes, it just came out today. 8 hours ago is when all the press releases, I guess, happened. But yeah, will you try it out?
It'd be interesting. Yeah, I'll probably try this. I don't know what it's going to be like. Like, I watched that video and I still don't know anything. Like, I don't know how MOBAs play.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm assuming you get a bunch of your Pokemon and you fight against the other Pokemon, but it's like who knows?
Yeah, I don't know either. But congratulations to
the
whoever's
Pokemoners.
excited about that. To the
Pokemans.
Pokemans. To the Pokemon. But yeah, so it's good stuff. So I think that's about all we've got.
Yes.
I feel like I've had good luck opening Pokemon cards after our stream. I feel like I should open up Pokemon cards, but
Go crazy.
I don't know, I'm also
Go stupid.
I'm also tired. I don't have much to open anyway, so.
I mean, I don't know. It's up to you. But all right, let's.
I'm to be a floating head again. You seem to be the good luck.
Maybe I could do that. I gotta eat this food anyway, so I'll be here.
All right, well, I forgot we're still recording, so
yeah,
we can wrap this up.
Let's wrap up the podcast episode. Make sure to follow us on Twitch if you're not already following us on Twitch, because we obviously stream these episodes live, and you get to watch our beautiful faces as we talk to you. You can comment live, maybe you'll get shouted out, and then you can obviously. Oops, sorry, I just banged my microphone. You can watch Paul open up Pokemon cards and maybe see a super rare card get opened, which has happened for the past 2 streams now. So maybe the streak will
Good
continue.
stuff. Maybe
All
it
right.
will. Stay tuned.
This has been episode 121 of What the Funcast. This is Paul and Ahmed signing off.
Peace.